All right, this is Jeff Carroll, Sci-Fi Express Lane. I want to talk about the Wicked movies and give my response to all of that. There may be some spoilers in here, but it's not my intention to spoil the movies for anybody. This is Jeff Carroll, Sci-Fi Express Lane. I'm a writer, filmmaker, award-winning filmmaker, comic book creator, and I just like to share my thoughts and opinions. So, I'm a lover of the story of The Wizard of Oz. I am so much a lover of it. Well, it's not my best one. I just respect it a lot. Let me just put it that way. And I went and researched it. I read the book, the original book. I did some history on it, and this was like a long time ago. I saw the book in a used bookstore, and I was like, get the hell out of here. I don't even think I picked it up, but I don't think I bought it, but I did look at it, and this was before I started doing like spoof stories and remakes and stuff like that. So now I'm in the game, and then I saw the Wicked story when it was in book and the play, and it inspired me to look into, I like the fact that they took an element of The Wizard of Oz and expanded on it. Now, the movie claimed to be a prequel to the Wizard of Oz, not the Wiz, not the one with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, the one with Judy Garland, okay, the one from the 1939, I think it came out. Anyway, I just had a problem with, and still do, the race swap of the Wicked Witch, right? Because I felt it messed up the message in the story, and I felt it was another bad example of where we're going. Now, I don't have a problem with the whole race swap of the movie The Wiz with what do you call it? Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. I don't have a problem with that because they did the whole story over. I have a problem with them injecting, a black character into the white story because I think it's a white analogy. Not to mention, I don't know, I think I had a problem with, Cynthia Erivo's attitude towards just a lot of things, she's an over-the-top thespian. She makes too much out of stuff, and she's just, I don't know where she's going to end with her career. I pray for her, but I don't really enjoy things. Let me just say this. I enjoy things less because she's involved in them. Because I just think I don't enjoy her, whether it's her acting or seeing her in interviews. I just think it's too much. That said, I remember when I was talking about Wicked, I said, how can you make a person who is a wicked person accurately categorized as a bad person into a good person? It just doesn't make sense. And unless you reboot the whole story, and they were saying that this is a prequel. They even had Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow in the movie. However, all of that was different. It was a different version of the Tin Man. It was a different version of the Scarecrow. Really didn't even have nothing. And the Lion, I think he was about the same. He's just scared of everything. So they didn't really even get into them too much. But in Wicked, it can't really be a prequel because it's not a prequel to the story. It is a reimagined story that starts before the other story starts. That's probably the best way you could say it. It's a reboot. And kind of when things are reboots, you throw a lot of things out the window because you don't know what they're going to change. So yeah, they changed a lot, but there's a lot you can change when you're doing a reboot. And that's what they did. So when you go look, I'll put my old video up there. All the things that I said are still relevant. It's just that they decided not to really make a prequel. They changed too much for it to be a prequel, and they made it a Disney fun story. There's no, first of all, when you watch the Judy Garland Oz is as unfriendly as the planet the Predator landed on in Predator, this last Predator that's in the theaters now. It's a hostile environment. With the Oz is a nightmare. The girl is having a nightmare. So it's a challenging place. Even the nice looking, what do you call it? Flowers, right? The daisy flowers, they are poisonous in the Judy Garland Wizard of Oz. They think they knock them out and they go to sleep. They did the same thing in one of the what do you call it? The Maze Runner. I think the Maze Runner, he had some flowers, the poppy scene. So that's what Oz is. Oz was not friendly like it was in Enchanted, like it was in Wicked. That's a totally reimagined. I'm gonna tell you, when I was little, The Witch gave me nightmares, and Oz was not a comfortable world. So they changed all of that. So to me, yeah, you can do a different Wicked Witch because you're doing a whole different movie. But you can't, I wouldn't suggest putting a black person in the role of the Wicked Witch from the Judy Garland movie. That's hatred. That's putting too much on us. You understand what I'm saying? And then they didn't really multiculturalize Oz. Now in Wicked, there's a little bit of multicultural. There's definitely black characters in there, you know, but there's no black place. There's an Asian character, Michelle Yeoh. She's in there, but there's actually outside. This place exists outside of the concept of culture and race, because culture and race are real things. People don't just look Asian, they behave Asian. They don't just look black, they behave black. They don't just look white or present white, they behave white. So the two things are connected in the real world. When you meet a Latino person, you're gonna ask them things that Latino people do. And no, because the two things come together. You know, in this movie, there was no such thing as culture. They were just all the same white type behaving people. And that's fine for a movie, it's okay, you know what I'm saying? But we do have to acknowledge that, right? We do have to acknowledge it. So I feel also that, you know, not only did they change Oz, right? They didn't really change the wizard. He was pretty much the same. But they had to friendly up Effa, or whatever her name is, the Wicked Witch, right? And they threw kind of Glinda under the bus, yo. Glinda, even in the first Wicked movie, which came out last year, and I'll talk on that. I'm not going to spoil the second one, but Ariana Grande's Good Witch, she lived in the bubble like the bubble she traveled in. You know what I'm saying? And that became a problem. I actually disagree with the ending or aspect of the ending because of the bubble that she lived in. You know what I'm saying? I actually feel, forget the Wicked Witch, I feel bad for Glinda. I feel bad for the Good Witch after the two movies is over. That's how I feel, you know, and I don't think that was the role of the movie. You know, the Wicked Witch wasn't necessarily wicked. That was, you know, propaganda. We saw that from the trailer, or after you saw the first movie, you know, you understood how she got to be who she was. But I also think, you know, the totalitarian system that is prevalent in Oz, the city Oz, the Wicked Witch became a revolutionary witch. She was more titled probably Revolutionary Witch than Wicked Witch, you know? And I think that fits her behavior. And then I also think they just put that Wicked on there because it was like, felt like a marketing scheme to connect the movie to The Wizard of Oz, you know, because she was so different from The Wizard of Oz Wicked Witch that is, you know, it shouldn't even be, it should be as different as The Wiz is. I don't know why they just didn't say that. This is a different movie. This is a different universe. Just do that whole thing. Stop saying that it's a prequel. It has little to do with that. I mean, the Wicked Witch in Judy Garland was real mean. Even the witch in The Wiz with Diana Ross was mean. She had a sweat house, okay? You know, so the Wicked Witch in Wicked is a revolutionary. And, you know, you can tell that from the first movie. It's not really a spoiler for me to say that. It's not spoiling the second movie. You know, for me to say that. So to me, yeah, I'll say this. I enjoyed it. I actually probably felt the second one was just as good as the first one. It's a musical. There's a lot of singing and stuff like that. Could it be a hardcore story? It could have been, but it softened it up. I actually think The Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland is a harder story. It is more gripping. I like that better. And of course, I like what they did with The Wiz. I saw that one on Broadway with Michael Jackson, and then I saw Stephanie Mills as Dorothy. And I like The Wiz music better. Everything. Michael Jackson got his joint off. Diana Ross, I felt that was the role that she was, you know, even though she seemed too old to be Dorothy, that role fit her the best. So yeah, I like both of those, The Wiz and the Judy Garland Wizard of Oz, better than the Cynthia Erivo. Not to mention, even the Judy Garland's music is better and more memorable than Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. I don't know what happened to Ariana Grande, why she, you know, lost so much weight. My God, if they can make you lose weight for a movie, they should also make you gain weight so you don't look so thin. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what she's going on in life. I'll pray for her. But even Cynthia Erivo stopped eating. But I think hers is, she trying to appeal to Ariana Grande. I have no idea. You know, it just felt like Ariana Grande, whatever she's going through is more authentic, whereas Cynthia Erivo seems like she's drinking Ariana Grande's juice. Ariana Grande ain't gonna be bigger than Mariah Carey. She's gonna be Ariana Grande. You know, it's people that tried. Lady Gaga's probably the biggest female singer since they've been trying out of Lady Gaga, what's Katy Perry, Ariana Grande, what's the other one? Dude, I can't remember. But all of them little female singers, Britney Spears, none of them gonna be bigger than Mariah Carey. They all need to just accept where they are and just keep it moving. So for Cynthia Erivo to be worshiping Ariana Grande, she's an actress. She's as big as she's going to be. This isn't, you know, the Wicked is just selling movie tickets like Barbie. You know what I'm saying? And keep it moving. It ain't going to be some revolutionary film talked about in the next 20 years like The Wizard of Oz. People are going to still talk about The Wiz more than they talk about Wicked. So just relax. This might have been a big role for you, but it ain't going to be that much. Nah, they may win some Oscars, you know, because I don't think the competition is there for anything else. So they may win some Oscars, but again, in the scheme of Wizard of Oz movies, it's not that big of a deal. All right, I think there may become some more Wizard of Oz movies now that might actually do better and add aspects that this movie didn't add. So we'll see. But anyway, that's it. Jeff Carroll out. Sci-Fi Express Lane. I'm going to talk about Frankenstein next. So we'll talk. Deuce.